Let's start our lesson with alignment on the history of OKRs. And what are the OKRs? The history of OKRs, objective and key results, begins in the 1950s with Peter Drucker, who developed the concept of management by objectives. This management philosophy was further defined by Andy Grove in the 1970s, who was the third employee in Intel and then will be the third CEO. Grove adapted MBO into a more structured approach, creating MBO-based OKRs. The real turning point for OKRs came in 1974, when John Doerr joined Intel and learned about this goal-setting framework. He became a strong advocate. Then, in 1999, when John Doerr invested in Google, he brought the OKR culture with him. It was this moment that marked a significant shift in the adoption of OKRs. Google's success with OKRs catalyzed their popularity, leading to the widespread adoption by numerous companies, including tech giants like YouTube, Slack, and Netflix, as well as retail heavyweights like Amazon and Walmart. OKR stands for Objectives and Key Results. It is a framework for defining and tracking objectives and their outcomes. The objective is a goal set to be achieved, something that should be significant, concrete, and action-oriented. It is meant to inspire and provide clear direction. Key results are the indicators that measure the progress towards the objective. They should be quantifiable and easy to grade with a simple success or fail. Lastly, initiatives are the plans and activities that are undertaken to achieve the objective. They represent the how of reaching the goal. So, in essence, OKRs help organizations set clear goals. What do I want to achieve? Understand how to measure success. How will I know I have reached the goal? And plan the necessary steps to get there. What exactly will I be doing? In other words, I will achieve this objective as measured by these key results. There are several aspects of a great objective in the OKR framework. First, it must be significant. Aiming for a major impact, it should represent a substantial change or advancement that engage teams towards achieving it. Second, it should be inspirational and capturing the imagination and spurring motivation across the team. Third, it should be relevant. Why are we going to work on it now? Fourth, it must be action-oriented, containing a verb that prompts action, ensuring it drives towards tangible progress. Improve, become, increase, and so on. Fifth, it needs to be specific, clear, and unambiguous, so everyone understands what is aimed for. And finally, the objective should be aligned with the higher-level objectives that in turn should be aligned with the company's strategy. Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, encapsulates these spirits by suggesting that even if we set ambitious goals and fall short, we will still achieve something remarkable. An ambition mindset is at the heart of setting effective objectives in OKR methodology. However, later in OKR types lesson, we will see that not all objectives can be ambitious. While objective is qualitative, key results in the OKR framework are quantitative, essential for tracking progress towards your objectives. They should be specific and time-bound, meaning you clearly define what you aim to achieve and set a deadline for it. Usually your OKR will be time-bound to some period, for example, quarter. Then key results by default are time-bound to quarter, unless explicitly mentioned differently. Key results ought to be aggressive yet realistic. They should stretch your capabilities but remain achievable. They must be measurable and verifiable, allowing you to determine whether you have met the goal at the end of the set period. Key results should be aligned with the organization's mission, reflecting our commitment to core values and principles such as sustainability and business ethics, ensuring that we not only meet our goals but also do it in a manner consistent with our organizational standards and integrity. And importantly, to maintain focus and clarity, you should have no more than 5 key results per objective, ideally 2-3, ensuring that each one is a priority and has the impact needed to drive progress. In general, the rule less is more applies to both objectives and key results. Initiatives in the context of OKRs are the practical steps and actions we take to achieve our objectives. These are the elements within our control, the tangible projects, features, user stories or tasks we plan and execute. Initiatives define the how, outlining the concrete activities that will lead us towards our desired outcomes. In business, this could translate into launching a new marketing campaign, developing a key feature in a software product, or completing a series of customer feedback sessions. They are the actionable commitments we make that drive us closer to our strategic goals. The key is to understand the difference between key results and initiatives. Initiatives are something that is in the circle of your control, when key results are in the circle of your influence. Let's look into concrete examples of OKR and go through the difference. In this OKR example, the objective is to get into shape after the holidays. It is a clear and motivating goal. One of the key results here is to reduce body fat by 5%, a specific and measurable outcome that indicates success towards the objective. Distinguishing between the key results and the initiatives is crucial. The key result focuses on the impact. It is what you want to see change as a result of your efforts. It is not directly within your control, but it's influenced by your actions. Another example of a business like OKR. Let's say you have problems with your employee engagement in your company. Then you might consider defining an OKR to change the situation. Your objective is to improve employee engagement, which gives clear direction. It is action-oriented with verb improve, and it is significant in the context of having problems with employee engagement. Your indicators on how you will know that employee engagement has been improved are your key results of increasing employee net promoter score from 20% to 30%, and reducing voluntary turnover rate from 15% to 10%. And after that, you start brainstorming on initiatives that can help you to make progress on key result that in turn will help us to achieve objective. You may decide to have feedback workshops, identify top impediments, and resolve at least 2 out of 5 top blockers. Paradigm of 3 circles, circle of control, circle of influence, and circle of concern, is a good model that can be used to distinguish between key results and initiatives. The initiatives, such as running 15 km every week and drinking 3 liters of water per day, are within your control. These are actions you can take directly. They are the efforts you commit to, which should influence the key result. While you can dictate the exact change in body fat, you can control your exercise and hydration habits. This is a difference between impact, which you aim for, and control, which you exert through your actions. The OKR learning curve illustrates that mastering the art of writing great OKRs is a process that unfolds over time. Initially, there is a phase of getting used to the system and understanding the basic concept of OKRs. As we move along the curve, we start applying the characteristics of great OKRs and focus on the outcome rather than just the output. It is important to recognize that while OKRs themselves might be straightforward, cultivating a robust goal-setting culture within an organization is a more complex challenge. This journey involves learning from each iteration, refining our objectives and key results, and integrating them into our daily habits. During our upcoming lessons, we will delve into this learning process. We will explore how to craft OKRs that drive performance and, most importantly, how to embed them into the fabric of our organizational culture. The aim is not just to write OKRs, but to build a mindset around continuous improvement and strategic goal setting. In the next lesson, we will look at why OKRs, the most important questions that everybody should ask themselves before implementing OKRs.